but he needed to accept his mistakes. She said, "Money and wealth do not last forever, but humanity and love always do." Gopal then apologized to the villagers. He abandoned his arrogance and admitted that he had been wrong in his pride. The villagers were initially shocked, but slowly they accepted Gopal. They forgave him when they saw his humility. Gopal began a new life. He had left his pride behind. He began using his wealth for good deeds. He now sat with the villagers, sharing happy moments, never looking down on anyone. His mindset had completely changed. Savitri, who had always worried about her husband, now saw him happy. She realized that Gopal's transformation was her greatest joy. They both now lived a peaceful and content life together. Savitri's heart swelled with pride because she had kept her patience and trust to bring her husband back on the right track. Gopal and Savitri's lives had completely transformed. Gopal was now respected not just for his wealth, but for his humanity and goodness. He had learned from his experiences that true happiness lies in building good relationships with others and being kind, not just in money. Kind to others. The bell above the glass door jingled softly as Amara stepped into the corner store, the same one she passed every day on her walk home from Lincoln High. Ozo, tucked between nails on a barbershop, ran a grumpy man named Mr. Ravi. To most people, Mr. Ravi was invisible, an old, stiff shopkeeper who never smiled, always seemed to be counting pennies. He wore the same sweater every day and had a permanent scowl. "Hi, Mr. Ravi," Amara said, placing a dollar on the counter. He grunted, bending up. She picked up a chocolate bar and smiled anyway. "Have a good day." No response. Still, every Friday, Amara came in, said hello, and left with a smile. It was her small ritual. Her friends teased her about it. "Why do you bother with him?" her friend asked. "He's like a vending machine with attitude." "I don't know," Amara shrugged. "Maybe he just needs someone to talk to him." One Friday, the bell didn't jingle when Amara entered. She looked around, the lights off in the back, and Ria was silent. Mr. Ravi sat behind the counter with his hands clasped, staring at nothing. "Hi, Mr. Ravi," she asked gently. He blinked and looked up slowly. "I didn't see the usual smile," she teased, though he never smiled anyway. For the first time, he chuckled. "Just a little." Amara raised an eyebrow. "I just want to say," she hesitated, "I hope you're okay." He didn't say anything, but she unwrapped her chocolate bar outside. She noticed something tucked beneath the wrapper. A small note. "Thank you. You're the only one who's kind to me." Her eyes welled with tears. Over the next few weeks, their relationship shifted. Mr. Ravi began talking, little at first, then more. He told her he had lost his wife 5 years ago, and that he'd had a falling out with his son. He told her about how he used to be a school teacher in India, how he loved poetry, and how lonely he'd become after moving to the US. Amara listened. That's all she did. No advice, no judgment. One afternoon, Mr. Ravi walked out from behind the counter and sat with her on the bench outside the store. "You remind me of my daughter," he said. Quietly. "She used to say, 'Kindness is free, so why not give it away?' You have the same spirit." Amara smiled. "She sounds amazing." "She was," he said. "She died when she was 16. A long silence fell between them. Then he added, "It never leaves you the loss, but kindness, it makes it lighter to carry." At school, Amara started something new. She called it the kindness wall. It began as a whiteboard in the hallway where students could write anonymous compliments or positive notes to classmates. The first week, only a few messages showed up. To Rachel, "I love your artwork." To Chris, "Thanks for tutoring me in math." To whoever picked up my books when I dropped them, "Thank you." By the third week, it was full every day. People started smiling more in the halls. Arguments between classmates dropped. Even teachers noticed. Still, not everyone was a fan. A senior named Ryan, known for his sarcastic attitude, mocked it loudly. "Oh, look, more fake niceness. What a joke." Amara overheard but didn't react. She wrote a note instead. To Ryan, "I hope today is easier for you than yesterday." She pinned it anonymously. The next morning, it was gone. One Wednesday evening, the sky turned gray. Thunder rumbled low like a warning drum, and rain began pelting the streets. Amara was at the library studying when the storm hit. Her phone buzzed. "Mom, storm is bad. Stay at the library or somewhere safe. Don't try to walk." As she looked out the window, she realized something. The store. She ran. By the time she reached the corner shop, wind whipped her umbrella from her hands. She burst through the door, soaked and breathless. "Mr. Ravi?" she called. No answer. She rushed to the back. There he was, collapsed on the floor, his hand clutching his chest. Amara's heart stopped. She pulled out her phone and called 911. "Stay with me," she whispered, kneeling beside him. His eyes fluttered open. He managed a faint smile. "You came. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere." The ambulance came in minutes. Mr. Ravi survived the heart attack, but the doctors said he wouldn't be able to return to the store. When Amara visited him in the hospital, he looked tired, older than ever. "I don't have to the store now," he said. "I don't have anyone left." Amara held his hand. "You're not alone anymore." She had an idea. Back at school, she spoke to teachers, parents, and together started a fundraiser. The community donated not just money, but some memories. People who hadn't spoken to Ravi in years suddenly came forward. A woman he helped pay for diapers when she was struggling. A man who said Mr. Ravi years, Ravi had once let him take food or credit for months. A teenager who said, "He always called me by name when no one else did." Amara compiled the letters and read aloud him in the hospital. "I thought I was forgotten," he said. "Never," Amara whispered. As summer began, something miraculous happened. Mr. Ravi's estranged son, Arjun, heard about fundraising through social media and came back. They hadn't spoken in 10 years. Their reunion was awkward, emotional, and imperfect, but it was evening. Amara stayed quietly in the back. She didn't need to be part of it. Just knowing she had helped was enough. Later, Arjun found her at the hospital. "My dad talks about you like you're his guardian angel," he said. "I'm just someone who said hello." "Well, thank you," he said, holding out his hand, "for giving me my dad back." Months later, Mr. Ravi retired officially, but the store didn't close. With Arjun managing and volunteers from the community PM, it became a new kind of place, community hub. A free little library was set up outside. There was a donation jar, not for tips, but to help those in need. Every Friday, someone gave away something. Snacks, clothes, books. Above the counter hung a sign that read, "Always be kind to others," in memory of Mira, who believed in gentle souls. People began calling it the kindness store. Years passed. Amara went on to become a working troubled youth, but she returned every holiday to visit Meadow Grove and the store. One chilly December evening, She sat outside the same bench, sipping hot cocoa. A teenage boy approached shyly. "You're Amara, right?" he asked. She nodded. "My mom told me how you helped Mr. Ravi. She said you changed the town." Amara smiled. "I didn't do anything big, just small kinds. Well," he pulled out a notebook. "I started writing down every kind thing someone does for me. Want to see?" She threw the notebook and felt her throat. This was a ripple. She passed the notebook back. "Keep quiet. You're doing something big." Kindness doesn't need recognition. It doesn't ask for attention. It lives in unnoticed smiles, in warm cocoa on cold days, in hands held beside hospital beds, in notes tucked under wrappers. It lives in you. Every person you meet is findable. You can't see. A word, a gesture, a single act can change everything. Like Mr. Ravi, like Amara, like you. So always be kind to others. Don't show off. Tara Mehta was the most talked about teenager in Sunshine Valley College. At just 15, he had over 100 followers on social media, the latest phone, designer shoes, and a YouTube channel where she posted fashion tips and how to be cool videos. Every morning, she arrived at college in her dad's shiny red convertible, wearing sunglasses even when it wasn't sunny. Her nails were always perfectly painted, her outfits perfectly styled, and her confidence? Unshakable. She walked through the college halls like a movie star, chin head high, and always followed by a group of students wanting to be like her. "Look at Tara's boots," someone would whisper. "She's wearing the new Gozi sneakers. They're not even released in India yet," another would say. Tara loved the attention. She thrived on it. But most of all, she showed off. All the time. Whenever someone did something, Tara had done it. "Oh, you went to Goa? That's cute. I went to Dubai. You bought a new phone? Mine's the latest version. Not even out in stores yet. You won the dance competition? I performed at a TV show last month." Tara did live a glamorous life, but she had forgotten one thing: how to be kind. It was a bright Monday morning and Principal Costa walked into class with a girl beside her. The girl had short curly hair, a bright yellow bag, and wore a simple jeans and shirt. "Class, this is Anya Sharma," said Mrs. De Costa. "She's just moved here from Dehradun. Please make her feel welcome." Tara rolled her eyes. "Another girl. Let's see how long she lasts," she whispered to her friend Nisha. Anya smiled nervously and sat in the empty seat beside Tara. "Hi, I'm Anya," she said warmly. "I know," Tara said, barely looking up. Everyone. Over the next few days, Anya quietly adjusted to her new surroundings. She wasn't loud, she wasn't flashy, but she was good, really good. She aced all her tests, played hard like a pro, and beat Tara's score in a surprise quiz. Tara couldn't believe who she thinks she is. She thought, then good annual Talent Fiesta, a week-long celebration of music, dance, drama, and fun competitions. Tara had been the reigning queen for 2 years. She performed a solo dance, hosted the show, and even modeled in the fashion event. Everyone expected to win this, until Anya signed up. The entire college buzzed with excitement. Posters of Tara and Anya were everywhere. Students were in corridors. Who's going to win? Is Tara nervous? Is Anya actually better? Tara pretended not to care. "Please, she's new. She doesn't stand a chance," she said, flipping her hair. But inside, she was worried. On the first day of the fiesta, Anya performed a soulful song she'd written herself. The auditorium was silent, hanging to every note. When she finished, the crowd erupted in applause. Even the teachers stood up. Tara politely, hiding her clenched fists behind her back. The next day was the dance performance. Tara wore a sparkly costume and did a high-energy Bollywood routine. The crowd loved it. Then Anya came on stage barefoot, wearing a simple white kurta, and did a Kathak performance that was so graceful and moving it brought tears to some eyes. The judges whispered. Teachers nodded. Tara bit her lip. Anya wanted something. Tara didn't lose completely, but she wasn't the center of attention anymore, and she hated it. The night before the final event, Show Your Seal, Tara sat in her room, scrolling through Anya's photos on Instagram. "People think she's so humble and talented," she muttered. "Let's see how she handles fame." She had a plan. The next morning, Tara walked into college with a huge smile. she found Anya in the library. "Hey Anya, you've been doing great," she said sweetly. Anya looked surprised. "Oh, thanks, I've been trying my best." "You know," Tara said, "you should totally let me record your performance. My YouTube channel has a huge following. It'll make you famous overnight." Anya hesitated. "I don't know. I'm not used to being on camera." "Oh, come on," Tara insisted. "You're amazing. People need to see this." Anya finally agreed. That evening, during her performance, Anya played a complex tune on the guitar while singing in 4 languages. Tara filmed every second and live-streamed it to her followers. Instead of Anya, Tara added a "When someone tries too hard to be special, within minutes, you blew up me comments. Who sings in 4 languages? Show off. Pride. Cringe." Tara pretended to be shocked. "I don't know why people are being so mean," she told everyone. "I was trying to help her." Anya found out. She was heartbroken. She did well. She quietly left the stage and didn't return for the final awards ceremony. Tara won Most Popular Performer. But for the first time, the applause felt hollow. The next day, the principal called Tara to her office. "Tara," said the Costa, "I saw the video and the caption." "I didn't mean," Tara began. "You humiliated a fellow student. Someone who trusted you. I was just showing off," Mr. Costa said, gently. Tara down. "Being popular is easy, Tara. Being respected is harder. You have talent, but you also have pride. And pride, when mixed with jealousy, can be dangerous." Tara was silent. "You're suspended from college events for a month, and you'll issue a public apology in person, on stage." Tara's face turned red. "Do I have to?" "Yes," Mrs. DeCosta said firmly. "You do." The entire college gathered in the auditorium this morning. Whisked flew across the room. Tara walked onto the stage alone. She looked out at the crowd, took a deep breath, and began. "I always thought being the best was what mattered most. I thought if people admired me, I was winning. But I forgot that being kind is more important than being admired." She paused. "I hurt someone who didn't deserve it. I was jealous, and instead of supporting her, I tried to bring her down. Anya, if you're here, I'm sorry." There was silence. This voice from the back said, "I hug you." Anya walked up the stage and gave her a hug. The crowd clapped, not because Tara was popular, but because she had admitted she was wrong. Over the next few weeks, Tara changed. She still loved fashion, still danced, and still shared videos. But now she used the platform to showcase others too. She invited Anya to collaborate on music videos. She praised her classmates. She even taught dance to juniors after. Her YouTube bio changed from Queen of Cool to Learning to be Kind, and her focus doubled. But once Tara didn't care about it, she was just happy being someone others could or someone they admired. A year later, Tara and Anya won the Best Duo Performance at the National Inter-School Fest. They held it together, smiling. As they stood on stage, Tara looked in the crowd and said, "Never try to take someone else's light to make yours shine brighter. There's enough light for everyone." The audience cheered. And for once, Tara wasn't the only star. She was part of a galaxy, bright, kind, and shining together. Moral of the story: showing off might get attention, but kindness earns respect. Don't show pain. 17-year-old Maya Patel was the girl everyone admired. Top of her class, captain of the team, with smiles so steady and warm before winter. To the world, she was a symbol of strength, someone who had it all together. But no one saw the shadow behind her eyes, heard the silent screams behind her heart. Anaya had learned long ago that showing pain was a sign of weakness. Her father, an ex-army officer turned school principal, had drilled it into her since she was little. Tears are for the night, not for the battlefield. And life, he said, is always a battlefield. So Anaya became a master of masks. When her mother passed away from cancer 2 years earlier, Anaya didn't cry at the funeral. She delivered the eulogy. She even comforted relatives who could stop. When her little brother crumbled in her arms every night, she held him like a rock solid, unwavering. But inside, she was breaking. It was her final year of high school. College patience loomed. The pressure to be perfect intensified. At school, she excelled because she had to. At home, she cooked, cleaned, and helped her brother with homework because no one else would. Her father was present in body, but emotionally absent, buried in his own grief and discipline. One Tuesday afternoon, after a grueling debate competition, Anaya fainted in the girls' bathroom. It was Maya, a quiet classmate and an aspiring poet, who found her. When Anaya came to, her first words were, "Don't tell anyone." But Maya had already seen the truth, kind of exhaustion no nap could fix. "Why do you all pretend you're okay?" Maya asked gently. "Because if I fall apart, who's going to hold everything together?" Anaya replied. Anaya didn't push. Instead, she made Anaya a deal. "I won't tell anyone, but from now on, I'm your secret keeper. You don't have to show your pain to the world, but at least show it to someone." Reluctantly, Anaya agreed. For the first time, she let someone in, She started writing letters she never sent, but placed in a small tin box under Maya's desk. It became their silent exchange, their pact. Anaya wrote about the fear of failing, about the panic attacks that gripped her at night, and Maya responded with advice, with poems. Short verses that captured emotions, too tangled prose. They talk about it during the day. But those letters were a lifeline. In January, Anaya's father received a job offer in another city. He announced they'd be moving in 2 weeks. Anaya broke down completely for the first time. Her brother was in shock as she sobbed uncontrollably. She cried for her mother, for the childhood she lost, for the pressure she could no longer carry. Her father cried and entered the room. For a moment, there was only silence. Then he sat beside her and whispered, "You don't have to be strong all the time, Anaya." She stared at him, stunned. "I wanted me," she said, her voice trembling. "I was wrong," he replied. "I was teaching you how to survive, not how to live." Before the move, Anaya placed one final letter in the tin box. "Dear Maya, I used to think showing pain made you weak, but now I know I didn't destroy you. You showed me that pain shared isn't pain doubled, it's pain divided. Thank you for being my secret keeper. I'll never forget. Love, Anaya." Maya later turned those letters into a poem titled "Don't Show Your Pain." Not as a rule, but as a question. Why else hide what's human? Years later, Anaya would go on to become a therapist, helping others face emotions she once buried deep. She still smelled, but now it was real. She still carried scars, but now she wore them like armor forged in fire. And when someone asked her what gave her strength, she simply said, "The day I stopped hiding my pain was the day I started to heal." Power, positivity. In sleepy town of Elmridge, where everyone knew your name, your family history, lived a girl named Amara. At 28, she was known for her warm smile, soft voice, and the peculiar habit of leaving C-notes, adopting quotes around town park benches, at bus stops, inside library books. Most, she was just that cheerful girl from the bakery. But few knew that behind her kindness was a heart that had known pain and chosen to rise anyway. Mara lived in a small apartment above her mother's bakery, Sweet Breast, which she had run on her own for the last 3 years. Business was slow, and her landlord had warned her more than once about the rent being late. But every morning, Amara opened the shop, greeted every customer with sincerity, and believed something no one could quite see, that things would get better because they had. 3 years ago, Amara had stood in the hospital corridor as her mother lost her cancer. Her father had passed when she was just 13, and her only sibling, Marcus, had moved away, too busy getting promotions in a big city to return home. Grief nearly broke her, but something strange had happened during those nights. Instead of falling into despair, Amara had picked up a journal and began writing one good thing each day. Sometimes the nurse who brought extra tea, other times sunlight through the hospital window. She didn't realize it then, but she was able to mind to survive through gratitude. One chilly November morning, Amara took a stick to a lamppost outside the bakery. He read, "This may be a hard season, but spring always comes. A.B. Later that day, a teenage boy walked in, his shoulders slumped, hands in his hoodie pocket. "Hot chocolate, please," he mumbled. Amara smiled. "Rough day?" He looked up. "Did you put that there?" "I did." He hesitated. "Thanks, I was really thinking about quitting everything today. School, life." That note made me stop. Amara's breath caught, but she didn't show it. "I'm glad you saw it," she said gently. From that day on, she started writing more notes. Winter came hard to Elmridge. A broken water pipe flooded part of the bakery storage. Insurance was slow to respond. The oven broke down. Bills piled up. One morning, after an exhausting night of cleanup, Amara sat at the counter, eyes rimmed red, head in her hands. "What's the point?" she wrote. Then noticed the note she hadn't written. It was stuck to the front door in familiar handwriting. "You saved me with your words. I just wanted you to know you matter. K." I trembled. She had no idea who K was. But the note reminded her of something she often forgot. Positivity doesn't always fix the world, but it changes how you face it. One day, Pound's only newspaper ran a feature titled "Sticky Notes of Hope, the Secret Lifter of Elmridge." People began sharing photos of the notes online. The bakery saw more customers. Parents brought their kids to read the notes. Elderly neighbors asked Amara to speak at community events. She started a social media page called @Notes by Amara. Thousands followed. What began as a movement became a movement. Schools asked her to speak. They gave her a certificate for outstanding community spirit. But it was never about awards. To Amara, it was about one truth. If you can't change your circumstances, change your outlook. If you can't change the whole world, change one person's world. One evening, as she closed the shop, I found an envelope addressed to her. The writing was instantly familiar. Marcus, I saw I've been following your page. I'm sorry I couldn't face the but you turned it into light. I'm proud of you. I'm moving back home. Let's rebuild together. She cried. Sometimes positivity doesn't just heal ourselves. It invites others home. With Marcus helping on weekends and the bakery now a symbol of warmth in the town, Amara launched a new idea. The kindness counter. Every customer paid someone in need. She installed a chalk on the wall titled, Messages to the Future. What do you want tomorrow's you to remember? People filled it daily. You are more than your worst day. Don't quit 5 minutes before the miracle. Grief is love that hasn't found a place to go. This world is still beautiful. Tourists came. Journalists wrote. But Amara stayed grounded. She always remembered the girl sitting down one good thing a day. On the bake's 3rd anniversary, under her ownership, Amara held a small celebration. She performed songs. A local artist painted a mural titled The Wall of Hope, filled with phrases Amara had once written. A teenager who was in his name was Kai stood up and read a poem. I once saw no light. Then came a note, yellow, with words simple, kind, strong. It saved me. And in saving me, it taught me positivity is naive. It's brave. There was a dry eye in the room. Years later, Elmbridge became known across the country as the town of notes. Other towns adopted the idea. A foundation in Amara's name helped fund mental health programs and art therapy for youth. The bakery expanded, but each day she still wrote one sticky note. Still chose to believe outside of people. Still faced hardship, but never alone. Because the power of positivity wasn't magic, it was momentum. A ripple. A note on a lamppost that said, You are needed. You are enough. You are light. Know your worth. In the bustling city of Mumbai, where dreams were both made and crushed beneath the weight of competition, lived Anya. He was 26, sharp-witted, ambitious, and quietly talented. Anya worked as a graphic designer in a well-known marketing agency of those open-plan offices where people wore headsets like armor and clocked in emotions only after 6 p.m. Despite being one of the most creative minds in the office, Anya often felt her ideas were constantly overlooked in meeting. Her designs approved only when presented by others, and the credit often slipped by sand. Her manager, Ritesh, always found a way to diminish her work subtly. It's good, but not great, he'd say with a shrug, even when the clients loved her mock-ups. Each evening, Anya would walk home with a heavy bag and a heavier heart. Her place, not just in the company, but in the world of creators. Her best friend